So for those of you who don't already know this, I live in the Great White North, and no, I don't mean the North Pole, I mean Canada. And this weekend is Canadian Thanksgiving, and of course, I'm thankful for every single one of you who come out and watch my videos. I'm thankful for my family, but the thing that I'm thankful most for today is Art Peasant, aka Joel from Infinity Ward, because last night, we got some hella big news about Modern Warfare, and specifically about microtransactions. Apparently, supply drops aren't going to be there at launch at the very least. They have come out straight and said that they are not working on supply drops. And we're going to dig a little bit more into this, talk about some really interesting things, because we actually saw supply drops in the beta. So we're going to talk about kind of why that was there, why that might have been wrong, and we're going to talk about all of that today. We're also going to talk about what this means for actual microtransactions within the game, because we straight up know that microtransactions are going to be there. We just now know that they're not necessarily going to be supply drops. So that's what today's video is going to be all about. It's kind of the hot topic revolving around Modern Warfare right now. So let me actually show you what I'm actually talking about. So over the past 1 to 2 weeks, there's been a lot of leaks going around about Modern Warfare. It's just that time of year. It's right before the game comes out, so there's always a ton of leaks, people data mining, people actually getting the game early. And one of the people who've been doing this more than anyone else is the Gaming Revolution. He tweets about it almost every single day. And one of the biggest things that he's been tweeting about over the past couple of weeks is supply drops, saying what they are, how they're going to work with keys, and a bunch of various different other things. Turns out everything he was saying was not true, and I guess it was getting to some people over at Infinity Ward. And then late last night, Art Peasant, or Joel from Infinity Ward, went onto Reddit and said this: current events. Sigh. So obviously he's frustrated. There continues to be misinformed and incorrect info being pushed about Modern Warfare. What I can say right now is that we are definitely not working on any kind of supply drops or loot box system. Also, functional stuff is unlocked through gameplay. Stay tuned. We are planning to release info this week. So there's actually a lot more information in that statement than you may think. You got to remember, whenever any of the development team actually puts out a statement like this, it has to be confirmed by the PR people at Infinity Ward and at Activision. So it is a well thought out statement. And like I said, there's a lot more information here than you may think. So let's kind of break it down a little bit. So starting out with the first part there, where he says there continues to be misinformed and incorrect info being pushed out about Modern Warfare. So what I take away from that is basically don't believe every single leak that you hear. Not all leaks are going to be right, especially when it comes to microtransactions. I think microtransactions are one of those like last finishing touches that they generally put on the game, which means they might try out a bunch of different things internally before they actually get pushed out to the public. So they might try supply drops internally, be like, hey, this sucks, and then not use it at all. What I'm guessing is that the Gaming Revolution, his source, is probably a QA tester. QA tester tries out a bunch of things that they try in game, and then if they suck, they don't end up putting them in the game. Hence why TGR actually thought that they were in the game, is because his source thought they were in the game. Meanwhile, Infinity Ward wasn't even working on those because they probably scrapped them a while ago. The next part of his statement is this: what I can say right now is that we are definitely not working on any kind of supply drop or loot box system. All right, so there's multiple ways to look at that section of it. Number one, they're not working on it. It doesn't mean it won't be in the game. It just could mean it won't be there at launch. We've seen this many times before with Call of Duty games, that the game is launched, there's no sort of supply drop or loot box system, and then 3 months down the road, they implement it as a way for the game to make more money. That is 100% possible that that does happen. The other way to look at it, which some people are looking at it this way, is that they are already done the loot box or supply drop system, and that it's already going to be there at launch, so they're not technically working on it, they are done it. Also completely possible, but the one thing I will say about that is that would be a total slap in the face if they were to put this statement out and then right at launch there's supply drops in the game. So I'm guessing at the very least the game won't launch with supply drops, but they might eventually be put into the game. Now, one confusing part about this is, you may remember back in the beta, I believe it was actually Nero Cinema who found this, that in the after action report it showed him unlocking a common supply drop for leveling up. So it appeared as though they were already in the game. Now, there's a couple of explanations for this. One, maybe they had it inside the code. Maybe they were planning on putting it in the game, but decided to scrap it. Option number two is maybe it was left over from the code from Infinite Warfare. You may have noticed that a couple of people who were data mining the game actually found a lot of code from Infinite Warfare. The names of maps from Infinite Warfare, the names of weapons from Infinite Warfare, and supply drops could be one of those things that was also left over in that code as well. So, from everything we are seeing here, I would put a pretty strong bet on the fact that at the very least, supply drops won't be in the game at launch. Yes, come January, come February, if they're not making enough money on whatever system they are using, then yes, they may implement them, but as of right now, they are not working on them. So then the final part of this statement is what I think is the most important. So what they say here is also, functional stuff is unlocked through gameplay. Stay tuned, we're planning to release info this week. So first things first, we are going to get more information later this week regarding all of the information I think to do with microtransactions. But I think the important part of that statement is that functional items will be unlocked through gameplay. So my understanding of functional items is things like camos, is things like actual weapons that are going to change stats. So new weapons, new attachments, anything like that will be unlocked through gameplay. And to me, that is the most important attribute. Even if there was supply drops, I would be okay if they're there if the functional items are still just unlocked through gameplay. To me, that is the big deal. So when they add new weapons, if they add new attachments, and even if they add new camos, if all of those are unlocked via actual gameplay, to me at least, that's what's actually important. So I was really thankful when Joel came in, said this. It makes me actually think that we might have a good microtransaction system in place for this game. I say might because we've seen how many times they've changed it through various Call of Duty games. So all in all, the important part is no leak or anything is going to tell us what they are. We're just going to have to wait till the launch of the game to see what we're looking at here. The other takeaway from that is we now also know that there is going to be some sort of microtransaction system in there at launch. It is just not going to be supply drops. The reason why we know that is because they said functional items are going to be unlocked through gameplay, but that doesn't account for things like character skins, emotes, sprays, anything like that, weapon charms. All of that stuff will still be a part of microtransactions. We just don't know in what way, whether it's just going to be a shop, whether it's going to be something like a battle pass. At this point, we don't know, but like we just talked about, that is something we're going to find out throughout the rest of this week when eventually they put something out about microtransactions. So we just have to wait and see. So I'm just going to be straight up honest with you guys. I'm still worried about microtransactions in this game. And I think it's like minor PTSD from Call of Duty Black Ops 4 because we just got literally our wallets taken out of our pockets and wrung dry with Black Ops 4. And I know that Modern Warfare and Infinity Ward have come out and said they are not going to do the same thing. But we've heard that over and over and over again with Call of Duty games. But year after year, they still try to milk us clean of money. The thing is, and the one thing that I will give Infinity Ward here, we have never straight up had a development team come out and just straight up say, listen, we are not even working on supply drops. That has never happened with a Call of Duty game, and it's kind of refreshing. Now, here's the thing. Are they going to keep that transparency come December when they go, you know what, we are deciding to put supply drops in? Are they going to put out a public statement saying, listen, supply drops are coming, but it's going to be no weapons in there? Or are they just going to straight up stab us in the back and take back what they just said to us? I don't know. I like the transparency. I like that they're telling us everything that's going on behind scenes. But like I said, I've been stabbed in the back so many times by Call of Duty microtransactions. My back is still hurting from them. So I don't really know what to think, but at the very least, this is a bit of good news. So from here, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think this is all good news? Do you think there won't be supply drops in the game? Or are you kind of like me where you're a little bit worried for that January, February time when the game kind of slows down, that's when they're going to throw in supply drops. That's when they're going to add DLC weapons. And once again, try to wring our wallets clean. What do you think? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I always appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. And as always, if you're new to the channel, channel, like what you see here, and want to stay up to date on everything Call of Duty and Modern Warfare, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on. And until next time, guys, peace out.
Listen.